Oh, boys and girls. Not only are we almost 2 years to the date, only 3 days shy of exactly 2 years ago, but it was on a Monday. This is Stirring the Pot with Dr. Gade and our very special guest, and I'll get it right this time, boys and girls. Lights out, Lee Miller. What's up, baby?
Not much, Don. 2 years to the day, and guess what I'm doing 2 years later? I'm in the middle of a 10-day run at the Skowhegan State Fair.
I hear a little bit of background, something going on. Where are you at the fair right now?
Oh, yeah. I'm sitting out in my truck right now at the fair.
You know, I haven't been to a fair in a minute, so I got to get my skinny ass out to a fair because I know they're a hootenanny, but I haven't been in a minute. Talk to us about the Skowhegan Fair. You're saying how many days?
10 days. It started Thursday, and it goes until next Saturday.
Oh, wow. So do you work the festival itself, or are you just talking about wrestling itself?
I am just wrestling for 10 days straight.
That sounds wacky, my friend. How does one persevere going day after day, 10 times, doing matches? If I'm not mistaken, don't you help set up the ring and such? Because I've seen you do this a bunch of different times.
I always set up the ring. We set it up Wednesday. That way it's good to go when we get here Thursday. And it stays up all week.
Wow. Every single day of those 10-day affairs, there's an event in the fair itself, or is there a couple matches? How does this schedule work out here?
Thursday, we are the big attraction. At 7 o'clock, we open the fair. We start with a rumble for the number one contendership for the king of the fair. And going into this year, I was the king of the fair.
I seen that. Congratulations.
Thank you. However, Thursday night, I lost the king of the fair title.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Laugh it up, John. Laugh it up. Tonight, I wrestled Frankie Yeager in a number one contendership match for the king of the fair. And that Marine is something else. He tied me into a pretzel.
Boys and girls, if there's something that I don't like to make me get a tickle, is looking at one Lee Miller tied up like a pretzel. That's one of my favorite pastimes. We have. Ooh, I'm glad you're in Maine. We have ourselves some fun when we have visited Lee Miller in the past, up in ye old Maine, way up in the tippity top of Northeast, almost in the Canada area. It was like a 5-hour trip for me, a couple times up there. We we had a tons of fucking fun. One Lee Miller. I'm gonna get to that in a little bit, but what else is going on at the Skowhegan Fair? Because now, who is represented as a promotion at the Skowhegan Fair?
The North Atlantic Wrestling Association, which is run by Cousin Larry.
Okay.
We have currently 22 fairs in the state of Maine that we are doing.
Oh, wow. Are you you're working them all, I would imagine, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Of course you are. This is what we talk about. Excuse me. This is what we talk about when doing the drives and doing, the stuff, working your way up in the wrestling industry. You've been around. Just remind us, boys and girls, because this is a return of one Lee Miller. But remind us, boys and girls, how long have you been in the business at this point right now?
At this point, I did the math today because I went back and watched the first STP I was on. And according to that STP, it was 2017, which makes it 7 years.
Mm. Now, paying your dues, doing the drives, and all of that stuff. I've seen one Lee Miller travel down for an event, Massachusetts, I think a couple times on an affair. So, I mean, this is the stuff that
Mhm.
wrestlers do to persevere and make that career, that singles wrestling career, a success. Doing something like you're doing, though, Mr. Miller, 10-day at the Skowhegan, you're talking 22 fairs within the season of the fair season. That's very taxing, I would have to think.
Yeah, it's a lot of time away from the family. It's a lot of sacrifice, but in the end, it will be worth it.
Are you part? I know cousin Larry, the NAWA, they do their running and stuff. Are you part of this promotion as to put on the show, or are you a wrestler that does help on the setup and such?
I like I like to say I'm Larry's right hand man, so
Okay,
I'm his go-to. If he needs anything, I'm right there. I
all
run the
right,
ring crew. I run the trailer.
nice.
Yeah, I'd
You
like
have a
to
little
say
crew. You have a
I'd
little
like to
crew
say I'm
underneath you.
yes, I do.
Okay,
If I'm in the venue tearing the ring down, Jason Maverick's in the trailer. Or if I'm in the trailer, one Jason Maverick is in tearing down.
ah, Jason Maverick, yes, sir. You have a formula, because I know when you're doing the ring and such, there's if you get a nice little routine and a way about the setup and the teardown at the same time becomes kind of second nature, and you can get it done real quick as long as you have those hands with you. Do you have a formula about putting the stuff in the trailer? Like, hey guys, it's got to be this, and this. Are you the kind of the ringleader of the trailer there, making sure everything is in the correct form and the correct place and all of that stuff?
I am the ring leader when it comes to making sure everything's put in that trailer from A to B in the correct order. Larry has trained me to be super OCD about that. If it's not put in there, I get ugly.
Uh, now it has been 2 years, and I know we're kind of talking about the fair, the NAWA, and you're part of it. But it has been 2 years, and the last time I did see you, I'm gonna say it was approximately that time or so, and I went up to Maine for a couple shows, up for a promotion that you were a part of at that point in time, and I haven't been up since. And I don't think that you've been in this area since. We haven't really connected a whole lot in the past couple of years. You were the real deal. Kind of poked at you because I was like, you got two names going on the socials and stuff like that. Had a little fun there. But you are Lights Out Lee Miller. You still have that moniker running, and that's still the same right now within the last couple of years. Has anything evolved with one Lights Out Lee Miller, um, maybe in repertoire, maybe in moveset, maybe in promotions added to the
Yeah,
road and everything? So please talk to us about maybe filling us in on the last couple of years, if you
the lights out still stays. I finally got
could. Ooh,
shirts.
all right, merch. We
They
love merch.
they are glow in the dark. Actually, I have one for you tucked away for when I see you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, I got to be nicer to him. He's giving me free.
Um,
Okay.
in the last 2 years, I've made my debut on Let's Wrestle, which
Ooh,
is the sister promotion for Limitless.
yeah, fun times at Let's Wrestle. So let's pahuse there, and then we can kind of continue. Talk to us about debuting in a new company, and I know it's Maine, but it is something new to one Lee Miller. So talk to us about debuting in a new company, and talk to us about Let's Wrestle, because that place looks like a lot of fun over there.
Let's Wrestle is the sister company to Limitless. Like I said, it's the stepping stone to get into Limitless.
Okay.
Currently, right on the edge of making that step is one Jason Maverick. He
Ooh.
has been climbing the limitless, I say the limitless roster because they've been coming to Let's to test him. And he has been phenomenal. In Island Falls, just a couple weekends ago, he just had a banger in a very dangerous rain because it was wet and slippery due to the rain with
Hmm.
one rip bison.
Oh. Whoa. Boys and girls, if you don't know either one of Jason Maverick or Rick Bison, please hit the old face page, Limitless, Let's Wrestle. Look these up if you're not familiar with some of these people and places that we're talking about. Rick Bison, that dude is no joke. He has made a name for himself at this point. Jason Maverick, like you're saying, he's on the upcoming, making a little bit of steam for himself right now. That must have been a hell of a match, my man.
That match, even though they were slipping and sliding because the floor was wet, because the people at the venue thought it would be a brilliant idea to mop up water, and they didn't do a good job. But that's okay. We love that venue. We just literally, I was the first match, and I went to jump on Big Cat on the outside. And as I came off the apron and my feet hit the floor, my feet came out from underneath me. So after my match, I immediately went out back and told the guys, do not go to the floor. It is not safe. And it was kind of funny because Maverick and Rip Bison are bigger dudes. So it's kind of watching elephants on ice skates while they went around the ring.
Uh, I do laugh. That is an excellent analogy, and I can see it. But that is quite a dangerous situation. Why wouldn't we get the venue owner to maybe Pahuze? Let's Pahuze the show. We really got to get this shit. I mean, is it continually raining? We're outside and it's just kind of continually raining, or has it stopped raining and there might be a chance to really kind of clean this up and be a little bit safer?
There really, there really wasn't a chance to pause it or clean it up. They kind of cleaned it up better at intermission,
Okay.
but with everybody going in and outside in the pouring rain, it just tracked the water back in.
Hmm. But uh, you guys persevere. You don't take as many chances as you might have earlier in your head, being like, okay, we got to pull this back a smidge because this whole environment's a little more dangerous than it normally is. So I'm sure, card is subject to change. You kind of pull back a little bit when these situations arise as a wrestler, wouldn't you, Mr. Miller?
Yeah, we. If I was in that situation, I would do exactly what they did. I would cut and or modify certain things that we had planned.
Right. Which, I mean, not only does it take away from us, the fans, because we don't even know what's coming, but it does take away from us in the long run. But it also takes away from one Rip Bison and one Jason Maverick because they have something, and there's something there. So when you have to change an ad lib, card subject to change again, it kind of takes away from not just the fans, but the wrestlers as well. Could I be correct on saying that?
No, you're definitely correct because we plan a certain thing that we want to pull out that people haven't seen, and the ring becomes an unsafe, and we have to scrap it. Yeah, it hurts us because we're like, crap. We want to show you what we can do, but we'd rather be safe and not injure who we're working.
Absolutely, and that's what getting training. I know a lot of guys start, and you've mentioned it in the backyard. But get training. Go to a facility. Go to a school. Go where there's head trainers and a program, a formula. Please get trained because when Lee Miller just said it eloquently, we had to pull things back. We had to do things a little bit differently. Even though we wanted to, you got to be safe, not only for yourself, so you can go home to your family, but for the guy across the ring from you, so he can go home safe to his or her family. So I love that, the smart thinking is there. It's not let's just go balls to the wall, so what? You have to be safe and change and ad lib when things arise when you have to do such. And I appreciate you guys for doing that. So let's move on from Let's Wrestle. What else has Lee Miller been up to?
I have been going once a week to the Limitless Dojo,
Okay.
busting my rear end there to get a foot in the door, and that's opened up the door to Let's Wrestle. However, when it comes to Let's Wrestle, I am not a singles competitor. I have met one of my best friends in training. Him and we just goofed off in class one day in a mock tag match, and the magic was just there.
Huh?
Me and one Samuel Matthews are going
Oh,
around New England, known as Vicious Intent.
Vicious Intent.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I see even on the bigger platforms, WWE and stuff, they like to squash names and try to make a play, and that it doesn't always work. Why Vicious Intent? Give us some little history of that, if you
Him and I are both maniacal
could. Okay.
when it comes to being in that ring. He likes to be, his intent is to hurt and cause pain. And I am just straight up, as you know, vicious.
And I like to play a little too much around one Lee Miller. I need to watch my stuff. Please continue. Tag team, doing your thing. You're spreading your wings with this tag team, Vicious Intent. Is that what's going on?
Him and I are spreading our wings. We've got a couple of places coming up out of state that we are going to be. I am not allowed to say yet because stuff. However, I can say that me, myself, I am going to be at New World Wrestling Extreme August 31st in Rhode Island.
Oh, they just made a stopover in wait, Portland, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Saturday night.
And if I'm not mistaken, again, I don't even know how I haven't been wrong yet. I only got one brain cell. I'm trying to keep a lot of information. NWWE New World Wrestling Extreme. They are normally running in one Woonsocket, Rhode Island, but they went up to Portland, Maine for this past, not this weekend. You said this weekend, right? This past weekend?
Yeah, this past Saturday.
You were part of that event. Weren't you on the card or something involved over there at the NWWE thing going on?
I was advertised to wrestle Alexander Lee, but as we all know, card subject to change.
Yes.
Hardcore Jesus currently hurt himself Saturday at work, so he had to back out.
Oh.
I ended up wrestling one of his students from the Limitless Dojo, Stormy Savage.
Okay.
And I can tell you right now, due to that match, we had the loudest crowd reaction, the loudest interaction with the crowd. And that match alone made the owner Trooper come up to both of us after and asked us both if we wanted to come down the 31st of August to Rhode Island.
Really? That's fucking awesome. That's what these debuts are supposed to do, is get an eye from somebody that you're working for in a new promotion. They see the value of what could be used later on down the road or in the future of said promotion. And he comes up to you and he's like, hey, I think you guys got a little something here. Why don't you come back to our next date down in Rhode Island? How does that make, and I know you've been in the business 2017, 2024 here. And I know it's 7 years, but still kind of young in a wrestling career in the same token, even though it's 7 years deep in a career, if you will. How does that make you feel as a wrestler getting that nod? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Getting that nod is what I've been looking for. I haven't really pushed out of the state of Maine. This year, I've just started to finally really get into it and push myself out of the state. And for a Trooper to come up and give us that nod, that's what I was looking for. That's what I needed.
excellent. That's what we love to hear. We love to see. Because without expansion, without that, you don't get knowledge, because obviously every match is more knowledge. But if you're kind of just repping with the same guys and the same girls in your same area over and over sometimes, and I know you get to switch it up, but it kind of gets, you don't get to challenge yourself. You don't get a little bit more knowledge from a different person that you haven't wrestled before out of your home base. And I applaud you for that. And I congratulate you at the same time as a wrestler, because you need that under your belt, for confidence. And I mean, yes, for confidence, but I mean, I'll even go right off the ripper. Number one, for knowledge, so you can bring that career to a successful career and get on those higher platforms. So that's excellent, my man. I appreciate you sharing that with us. That's amazing. Excuse me.
I like your shirt.
Now, I wore this for a purpose. There's a couple purposes, actually.
Mhm.
One, we're going to get into the limitless thing. One, on the last SDP, I wore a homage to Josh Briggs. He's a big dude. It's kind of thinking lights out. He's a big dude. I don't have any lights out gear because he didn't have any lights out gear. So I wore a Josh Briggs and paid homage to such. This time, I wore this for a double purpose. Big dude. Lights out Lee Miller. Big dude. But one, Donovan Dijak, formerly known as like 3 different names in the old Big Dub, went down from the main roster down to NXT, was doing his thing, started evolving as a character, if you will. I was kind of digging it. I'm like, okay, finally, Dijak looks like a badass instead of a fucking weirdo with this T-bar shit going on. I was loving it because now he's being, no pun intended, vicious. So now NXT and him, or the WWE, they didn't really come to terms with a new contract. So what happens when the talent don't get a negotiation on their contract? Kind of go back out on the indies. And there's a couple right now, and I've mentioned them before. Excuse me. On my last SCP, one being Anthony Green, who's back out there doing hot stuff. I just saw him go against TOS Youngboy at Test of Strength House Rules 4. Oh my God, TOS Youngboy was Anthony Green was just a wee better. But the double meaning behind this is he's out on the indie scene, and not only that, he's making I want to say a debut in my area in East Hartford for Wishes on Wheels for Planet Pro Wrestling. They have a thing that they do once a year, and it's always free, but it's a charity thing. So buy stuff, go to the vendors, because some of that, donate. You know, there's a lot of things that all come back to the Wishes on Wheels. They have a huge truck convoy at this event. And again, it's once a year at Rensselaer Field in East Hartford, and Planet Pro Wrestling is celebrating a 10-year anniversary at the same token that they're doing this now. Bobby Ocean, by the way, fun fact, is the champion. And John Cena Sr. is at all of these events when they have them every single year. Well, Dijak is doing a meet and greet. And every single dime from his meet and greet, and it's set up for an hour previous to the event start time, will go back to the Wishes on Wheels. So there's that behind it. And I see, excuse me, that Pepsi's killing me. And not only that, you've mentioned Limitless a couple times, and I know I am rambling on here, Mr. Miller. I am sorry, I can do that. Dijak, one Donovan Dijak, he's coming back to Limitless Wrestling. And it seems like it's a big effing deal. So please, I've said a few things there. Piggyback on what I've just kind of spoken on of some of these talents that get released and come back to the scene, because not only that, Anthony Green has been up in that area, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of piggyback on what I've just kind of been rambling on, if you could, sir.
Well, the last Limitless event, speaking of AG, Channing Thomas kept his title, kept the Limitless World title.
Yes.
And as he was celebrating, a masked hooded figure hit the ring. And the pop was huge when that said hooded figure picked up the title and revealed it was Anthony Green. Anthony Green started in Limitless Show 1 when it was in the back of a restaurant. He has been a mainstay on Limitless from day one. I met Anthony Green in the original iteration of Main Event Wrestling in Dexter, where I was just starting 7 years ago. I was just goofing off in the ring. Him and Rip actually helped me with my roles. I was literally just goofing around, and they were like, no, tighten it up, tuck your head better, do this. And they helped me with my roles. Donovan Dijak, I have looked up to since he started in Limitless. His presence is second to none when he enters the room. The final boss mantra that he was portraying at the end of NXT when he got released is perfect for him. That is the perfect gimmick for him to run with. Saturday, I believe there are a couple of spots still available for any trained wrestler who's looking to get a seminar in with Donovan Dijak at the Lewiston Coliseum.
Oh.
If you were interested in that, contact Randy Carver Jr.,
Oh.
the owner of Limitless.
Okay.
I am looking forward to that seminar.
So you've already signed up for the seminar, yeah?
I've already signed up for that seminar. Looking back on this year's seminar, I made a list. I don't have it off the top of my head. But Limitless, when they bring in a name, 9 times out of 10, they try to get a seminar for their students.
Okay.
And I could go on. This year, Ricky Morton, Kerry Morton, Sammy Callahan. Last year, it was Jonah, who is now Bronson Reed in WWE. That was fun.
So was that in between? Oh, I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt, but that's kind of what I do. Jonah, was that in between when he was Bronson Reed, then he was released, then he was Jonah out on the indie scene, and before he got picked back up? So was that before he got picked back up at that time?
Yes. Yeah. It was in between when he was over in New Japan.
He had that little bit more experience under him, being the Performance Center, being a little bit of Japan, and this is something that we always talk about, that knowledge. You got to try different places and go to different facilities and get different knowledge from each one to combine those and make an excellent package to become a successful wrestler. And again, I'm sorry I interrupted, but I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page, because not everybody knows the indie guys, but a lot of them will know the transition of the WWE guys and such that come back on the indies. So I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page as well. And I apologize.
No, you're good. This week, Tony Atlas was here Thursday night.
Oh.
And I love Tony because usually 9 times out of 10 when he's on a Larry show, I'm the one that picks him up. So Tony and I have bonded and become, I say, really close friends. He likes to say I'm his little buddy.
Okay.
I got to go pick him up Thursday for Larry, but I already told Tony, I go, we're not stopping for chicken this year. We're not stopping at Popeyes for chicken. Tony goes, come on, Lee. I promise I won't do the master trick. And I went, no, Tony, no, we're not doing it. No. So the story behind that is anybody that knows Tony Atlas knows that he's African American. And I'm Native American. So I picked him up and he goes, Lee, I want to stop and get some chicken. We got time. I went, all right, Tony, we'll stop at Popeyes at the rest area and get you some chicken. But we go in, we get in line for the chicken. He looks at Laura, who is his handler. and just smiles at her, kind of funny. And I went, "Oh no, oh no, I know what's coming." She just chuckles, and we get to the front of the line, and Tony looks at me and goes, "Master Lee, can I have some chicken, please? May I please have some chicken, Master, please?" I looked at him and I went, "Tony, cut it out! Stop it! Stop it! May I please have some chicken? Can I have more than one piece, sir?" Trying to not lose my shit laughing. I'm going, "Tony, stop it! Stop it!" He went on for 5 minutes until finally I looked at him and said, "Yes, get the damn chicken." But
um,
I usually, when it comes to the fairs, if it's not more than one day we're there and we have Tony, it's usually me and somebody else in a tag match against Larry and Tony. And that's just because Tony has looked at Larry and said, "I always want to work Lee. I trust Lee."
nice. That's awesome. These bonds, these relationships. Um, I know Tony's up there in age and such. But even tomorrow, Lee, if you were to quit wrestling for whatever for whatever personal reason, you just whatever, and hypothetically, you had to stop wrestling tomorrow, and you weren't doing the drives, and you weren't seeing these guys on a regular. These relationships and friendships that are made over the course, my man, irreplaceable. The memories, just the things that will pop in your head about a venue with such person, or on the road with such person, or at Popeyes with said. See, that's what I'm talking about. That beautiful fucking smile. That's what this business does to a lot of people. You're given these chances to make them. If you make them, it's all the better. And they do last for a lifetime. So I love that you shared that story with us, Mr. Miller, because that's what these things are really all about, is to, get behind the curtain a little bit, and show the boys and girls that watch this, you guys and girls, and I've tried to stress this on this show without being a dick. You guys and girls are not fucking machines. A lot of the fans out there well, kind of contrary to what I just said, because they think you're supposed to perform, perform, perform for us, do fun stuff, break your body, jump off of stuff, hit others with weaponry, be fun for us. And I've always said, chill the fuck out, motherfuckers. They're humans, every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they got a fucking bad day at work. Sometimes they had a fight with their spouse. Sometimes their child got pulled into the principal's office that they had to deal with. Sometimes there's a death in the family. Sometimes they're on the road to go to perform for us, but yet on the same token, as they're driving, in their mind, they're saying, "Hey, asshole, you should be at the choir with your child up on stage." But no, they're driving to come to perform for us. Can you kind of speak about that topic right there? I mean, because I could go on and on about it, because I feel the
Mm-hmm.
sacrifices and everything that you guys and girls kind of go through without going through, because of the conversations I've had, not only on STP, at the shows, in my car, doing some of the drives myself. Talk to us, the fans, about that topic of what I just spoke about. On, I'm not a fucking robot. I'm a human. I've got bad days, but yet I get in my car and I do my thing for you, the fans.
Yeah, as you said, I'm not a robot. I'm a human. I'm autistic. I'm bipolar, and I have ADHD. So there are days where I don't want to even be there. I'll hide out back. I'll put my merch out and I'll have somebody sell it and I'll sneak out back. If somebody wants me to sign something, I'll come out, I'll sign it really quick, and then I'm immediately out back. I There are days where I want to be there and I want to be around everybody. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And then there are days where I'm just like, don't want to put my body through this.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't
Absolutely.
want to be here. And if I get into those moods where I'm like, I don't want to be here, I'll tend to throw on music. I'll throw my headphones in and I'll throw music on and I'll try to get myself out of that mindset
What are we
because I
listening
know
to?
I'm there. When it comes to my music, it can be anything. My playlist is wacky. I can go from Queen to ICP to Five Finger Death Punch to Bon Jovi to Zach Brown Band to Kenny Chesney.
Okay.
I, I bounce around.
All right.
Um, it takes a toll on our bodies. These 10 days, like I had yesterday, I actually didn't work all 10 days. I had yesterday off. I had a family reunion. But I woke up yesterday morning and just doing 5 shows in 3 days, I was like, oh, fuck hit me. Excuse my mouth.
No, no, no. It's okay.
I was like, anybody get the number of the truck that ran me over? However, the one thing that I have found that has helped me modify in the last 2 years since I've seen you, my recovery, is I have changed my diet. I have gone from eating junk food to eating more vegetables,
Okay.
more fruit. I have cut way back on my soda intake. I've been a bad boy this week so far. I won't lie. I'm at the fair.
You are. You are.
But I cut back on my soda intake almost completely, cut back
Wow.
on my energy drinks, and switched to Celsius. It still gives me the caffeine, but it's seltzer water.
Okay.
And I have gone from 278 pounds to 240 pounds.
Whoa. Holy shit, my man. That's what we're talking about right there, baby.
My doctor looked at me and asked me, he goes, how are you doing it? Because, like you said, that's a huge drop. And I told him what I just told you. My doctor goes, keep it up. Keep it up.
I've talked about this subject previously with a couple different people that have lost um, beyond those 40 some odd pounds. Do you feel that you're moving differently? Obviously, you might have a little bit more cardio and such and whatnot, but do you feel that you have to maybe work a little bit different because you do have a little more a little more pep in your step, running the ropes, if you will, or doing different maneuvers, because now you might be doing them a little quicker than you previously have, but you also, your strength has changed at the same token. Do you feel yourself working a little bit different in the ring with this change?
In the ring, I feel myself moving a lot faster, a lot more agile than what I was. I have been working. I'll give you a little insight. I've been working on an actual moonsault
Lee
due to the
Miller.
weight loss. Yes,
Holy shit. That's how
that's one thing.
the confidence, though. That's what this is doing. It's bringing you up. It's showing you that you can do certain things that you thought you couldn't do before because, I'm a sizable guy. But now that I've kind of come down, all right, what can I attempt to do? What can I do realistically and not kill myself and my opponent? And you're talking a moonsault. That's pretty impressive, my man. I gotta say.
Yes. Eric Johnson was the one that originally started teaching me. We
Okay.
started with the standing, having a tabletop behind me, somebody on hunched over, and me going over that way onto a mat.
Okay.
We removed the person, had me do it again, but I was going sideways. Eric's like, I don't like that. Put the person back, had me do it again, and I hit it fine. What originally brought me on learning a moonsault was we had a skinnier kid in our class, and Eric asked us what we wanted to learn, and the kid goes, I want to learn a moonsault. So Eric set it up, like I said, had somebody get tabletop, and the kid just got in his head, couldn't get out of his head to even do a standing one.
Oh
So
wow.
me just being me, I went, all right, move. I'm just gonna fuck, fuck it. I'm just gonna go for it. And seeing, I don't remember his name, but he did it in Let's when Les was in Orono. And for the longest time, he was known as the fuck it guy. He did a shooting star press and he caught the corner. He
Wow.
took the corner to his rib cage. So I pretty much had that mindset of fuck it, I'm going to do this either way. So I went and I hit the first one. To everybody's surprise, including myself, I went, oh shit. So I got up, I did it again. I hit it twice. I went, okay, I got something here.
Hmm.
We removed the table. I went sideways. Eric's like, no, I think you're going to need the ropes. I went, okay. So we got me on the second rope. I did it from the second, did it twice from the second. Eric goes, go to the top. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So I've been working on it, and I can get up and stand on the top, like face out towards the crowd. And then that's when I get nervous and get in my head.
Mhm.
But once I get through that, I'll be able to do this. I can do it from the second. There's no reason I can't do it from the top.
Have you ever seen What About Bob?
Yes,
Dr. Leo Marvin always says, baby steps, Bob, baby steps. So you're doing little by little by little, and you're gonna get there, my man. It's seemingly like you're making amazing progress at this point.
I love the dojo a lot because, yeah, we go through and we do the drills, we do the sequences, we bust our ass, we put the work in. At the end of the class, they always give us either a half hour to an hour to learn whatever we want.
Oh,
So if we go in there and we want to learn something, what was it? Uh, I've been working on my chain wrestling because I know that's where I've been lacking a lot. So Fridays, Calvin Strange, we go in, we do our warm up drill, and then immediately we go straight to chain. Immediately, you partner up, you go straight to chain, and you're chaining for an hour. Yeah,
nice.
you're switching out partners in that hour, but you're just go, 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 go. You don't think, you just do.
Right.
And that's been the one big help is I don't think about it anymore. I just do. I natural react.
Mhm.
And that's one of the biggest benefits of the dojo I have had is
Yeah.
that half hour to an hour of learning whatever we want and just working.
The improvement sounds like they're happening. You're improving on your vessel itself, changing your diet, eating a different way, impressing the doc, if you will. It seems like uh, Lee Miller is on a path. Do you have a goal of what you're looking at here? Obviously, you started it because you wanted to lose a few pounds. Are you past where you thought you would be going? You know, did you have a goal set and you've surpassed that? Or do you have a goal that's set that you're looking for right now?
My goal was to get under 250 so I could go skydiving
Okay.
because the maximum weight to go skydiving is 250. So my
And you
goal
want,
was to be under 250, like 247, right in that area. Well, I surpassed that, hit 241 without even thinking about it. Now I'm down to 240. I've got 5 more pounds to go, and I'll be happy.
nice. That amazing. I congratulate you on all your efforts to change. I like my Mountain Dew, man. And I know you like your certain things. I don't know if I could live without my Mountain Dew. I'd have to find a way to survive. Um, I want to kind of just
It's
rewind.
okay. It's
Huh?
okay. It's okay because I'm native and I can't live out with my Betsy. I gotta have my Betsy. I get
I
it. I
just
gotta
wanted
have my
to.
Betsy.
I wanted to rewind just a smidge. You said you wanted to get to under 250 because that's a maximum weight to jump out of a plane. I only have one question, my friend. Why the fuck would you want to jump out of a plane? Please indulge us.
It's one of those things where it's an adrenaline rush. I'm a roller coaster freak. I like to do those adrenaline pumping things.
Okay.
And it's always been on my list since I was a teenager.
Hmm.
Growing up, I was always a bigger teenager, and my foster mom in the state wouldn't allow me to jump out of an airplane because it's
Okay.
a liability and it's a whole mess. And
Mm-hmm. A lot of a lot of paperwork. Um, I mean, besides your desk, it's a lot of paperwork. Have you jumped out of the plane yet, or you're anticipating this to happen?
I'm anticipating it to happen. We're going to end up booking it because we want to book it next winter for the summer.
Okay.
That way we know I'm under the weight and I can maintain it.
Awesome. And you've been able to maintain your weight and still decrease with this diet you've been keeping?
Yeah, I have then, which is really
Nice.
good. I actually weighed myself last night. And like I said, the fair started Thursday. It's Monday. I've been a bad boy. I'm up to 243. So I put on a couple of pounds. But that's okay.
Doing
It's okay.
it right. Don't yell at yourself. You're at the fair. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
um, through this process, you do want to check your weight, see where you're at. Has this become an obsession with one Lee Miller, trying to decrease his weight, trying to maintain and keep going and keep going and keep going? Are you just like, I gotta see my weight, or are you kind of, I'm doing my thing. I'm kind of conscious. I'm pulled back a little bit. I got this. Where are you at with this? Because some guys will really obsess when they start losing weight.
Yusuf 13 actually started doing a sweatshirt challenge.
Cover up.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly where he got that from. He got it from somebody, some motivational speaker.
Okay.
And I saw Yusuf doing it, and then I was like, all right, I'm a bigger boy. I look at myself in the mirror. I don't like what I see. I don't like it. So once I saw Yusuf do that, I pretty much took that and adapted it.
Hmm.
Monday through Friday, when I'm on the back of a trash truck, I don't care if it's 80 degrees outside, I have that sweatshirt on. Unfortunately, during fair season, I don't tend to wear it because I got to show off. I got to show off the merch shirts and I got to sell stuff.
You
I got to
got
draw people in.
you got to have the guns out. I mean, it is what it is during fair season.
So the sweatshirt has been a big help.
Awesome.
It's out of sight, out of mind, constantly throwing trash, constantly moving, sweating, and then going to the gym with the sweatshirt on so I don't see myself.
So you're not using a mirror. You're not keeping an eye on yourself. You're doing what I want to say it was Henry Rollins, but I might be mistaken. I could be way off there. So don't quote me on that. It's out of sight, out of mind, where you're not even looking at your body. You're not looking if there is progress. And if there is progress, I'm going to be so damn surprised by the time X day comes and I stop wearing the sweatshirt. That's pretty much what's going on here.
Yeah, that's basically what's going on.
Okay. And you're finding good results with this as well.
Extremely good results.
Wow. So anybody that's listening, I mean, if you're having issues, and Lee Miller is a good guy. I do miss him, but Lee is a great guy. I'm sure, an aspiring wrestler or someone who's in the business right now and is looking to pull back their weight a little bit. If Lee's being productive over here and his doctor is impressed, maybe you can give old Lee Miller a DM and see what's good, make a connection. could be another friendship and a relationship out of this. You never know. So I mean, I know I'm just telling people to reach out to Lee Miller to figure out how to lose some fucking weight, but I'm being fucking serious here, man, because when we talk, what have you done in the past 2 years? I'm expecting, you know, obviously you've made the debuts and stuff, but you're making a body transformation. You're making a life transformation, not only for yourself, Lee Miller, but for your family at the same token. I mean, this is a big fucking deal. So that's why I kind of mentioned, if some guy is out there struggling right now, maybe Lee Miller is the guy that can help you, because it doesn't seem like he's going to extremes to get this done. So maybe you can make a little connection out there. Could I be right on saying that? Is that okay for me putting that out there? One Lee Miller, give him a little
Yeah.
reach out, and
Yeah. If somebody wants to reach out to me and ask me how I did it, what I'm doing, my DMs are open. Come on
okay,
out and ask, and I will give you the answers. I
awesome.
will help you along your way.
That's spreading the love. That's what we love on STP. I don't need it because I'm skinny as fuck. As Q says, Flaco Diablo. So skinny devil. I don't need that kind of stuff. So I mean, I do when I hear things like this, and especially on an SCP being very open and honest with your life. Really, I mean, it's not even about the business and such. It's about your personal life, and I appreciate you being so open and honest with us, the fans. Excuse me. But this is why we started it. And you mentioned USF 13. This is exactly why I started STP. Me and him were hanging out, bullshitting. He started telling me his real life story. And I go, dude, I want to do some kind of interview platform. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I would love to start with you. And that's how STP became with Yusef. I shit you fucking not, Lee. That is how STP was birthed. And I don't mean to say birthed like he came out, like STP came out of Yusef or anything, but that's legitimately how it happened. So it's funny how full circle we here are right now, not only in the industry itself, but on this platform of being STP. This is absolutely beautiful shit right here, Lee. I love all of this. So again, I just want to congratulate you for all your hard work, your efforts, and your life-changing experience right now. That's fucking amazing, dude. That's really, really good stuff.
I greatly appreciate it, Don. I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely, my man. And you keep doing you, and keep this on. I want to see this fucking moonsault in a ring, man. I need footage of Lee Miller with a moonsault on some MFer to put his lights out. Would that be a finisher? And I know you have your own finisher, but would that be maybe some kind of finisher or a prelude to said finisher?
If I can get it to where I 100% like it, that will probably be my new finisher.
Okay. I know you don't have anything in mind, but got to make a name for it, because you gotta have a name that's kind of for Lee Miller, So we're gonna see what Lee Miller brings to us, the fans, in the near future. Now, we've talked and mentioned Limitless a bunch of times already. Talk to us, the fans, about Limitless right now, because it's always been, and seemingly, a major part of the independent scene right now. And again, in previous years. So if fans do not know about Limitless Wrestling, talk to us a little bit about it and the importance about it, because we were just talking some history of XWA with one Multimedia Dave, and that was a fun little road to go down. So talk to us about the importance of Limitless and where it is right now in its existence.
Limitless is really important to main wrestling because it evolved main wrestling. It made main wrestling go from these little. I don't want to diss main wrestling because I'm part of main wrestling. It made us go from little mom and pop venues to going into these bigger venues, more respectable venues. That's the way to put it. More respectable venues. We weren't just in the back of a restaurant where now continuously Limitless is at the Yarmouth and Vets every month. It's a home for bigger talent to get a shine to come to the Northeast for people that haven't seen that. We have Gabby Forza, Nomi. She is taking on the former ROH TV television champion in the opening round of the VLC. Bailey Sparks? Not 100% sure on her name. But I know I watch Ring of Honor. I should know this. So much wrestling I watch and consume. I should know this. But Limitless is the door to give. It's the big. It's one of the biggest indies in the Northeast. I can say that with confidence.
Okay.
It's if you make it to Limitless, I can say this because look at their former champions. If you make it to Limitless and you get that gold, you're gonna get signed. Christian Casanova, aka Carmelo Hayes. Maxwell Jacob Freeman, the first Limitless champion, is now the current American champion on AEW.
I loved how he did.
I love the whole. I love the whole title. I thought that was great. Daniel Garcia. The Bidding War 2024 is not going to be over MJF. It's going to be over Daniel Garcia. I'm calling that now. He is a former Limitless champion. He actually carried Limitless through COVID.
You are correct. I do I do remember such, yes.
He carried Limitless through COVID, and he deserves everything that's coming his way. He's a phenomenal person. I used to heckle him bad as a fan because I used to think he was boring. But little did I know that that's the style that attracts my attention more. That more technical, mat-based, how do I get out of this pure style of Ring of Honor?
We've mentioned AG. I want to mention one more. One Alec Price. The prize, Alec Price. Look at that smile. Talk to us about Alec Price real quick.
Alec Price, I love Alec. Alec, his first Geno's show, Geno's Rock Club in Portland, Maine. The NAWA runs there constantly. It's a former porn stage house that got turned into a nightclub. And it's standing room only with a 16 by 16 ring. There's like a foot and a half between the backside of the ring and the stage.
Ooh.
So it's rock and wrestling 6 times a year at Geno's.
Okay.
But back to Alec. Alec's first Geno show, he came up with Mike McCarthy. And I had just started working for Larry's Geno show. So I was probably a year to 2 years into my career. And Alec's first Geno show was with me. I worked Alec Price in his first Geno show in Portland, Maine.
Nice.
Alex says that match was the drizzling shits. I kind of agree. I kind of agree with him. I love him, but I agree with him because back then I wasn't listening for shit. So he was right.
Okay. And you can admit such because some guys just can't at times, you know?
Oh, I'll gladly admit that. When I first started, I had that I don't need to be taught I'm better than you ego.
Okay.
And Larry heard about that and whooped it out of me.
Now I know you were on that end of it, and Larry is on this end of it. But do you feel it was hard to pull that out of you and be like, kid, calm the F down and listen. Just open your ears and shut your mouth. Was it hard to pull that out of one Lee Miller?
I am very stubborn. A lot of that has to do with my autism and my bipolar.
Okay.
I don't I don't tend to like to be told what to do.
Mhm.
So I was not making the right moves that I needed to make to the point that I almost lost my spot at my home show.
Oh,
Larry heard about my attitude, grabbed me, had me work for him down in Westbrook, had me do a match with him. I messed up 10 times. I took 12 chops for it. My chest was like hamburger. But we got out back. Larry goes, "You know why I chopped you?" I go, "Yeah, I messed up 10 times. I know where I messed up." I told him all 10 spots I messed up. He goes, "Good. Now fix it." I went, "Okay." He goes, "This attitude that you have here, you need to take this good attitude with you back to your home base. And you need to sit down, shut up, and listen, and only talk to the person you're working." I can say that is the best advice I was ever given.
seemingly, cousin Larry is a father figure to more than one of the boys out there.
I like to call him my wrestling dad. Larry is my wrestling dad.
Seems it. I've seen it firsthand with a couple of them, and this story again, beautiful, heartfelt, real, and one Lee Miller is sharing it with us, the fans. Love, love, love this stuff. Where is Lee Miller looking to kind of? And I know I've probably asked you this a couple years back, and you have mentioned a debut here and such. Where's Lee Miller looking to spread his wings? Do you have any places particular in mind right now?
I have had a goal for the last 2 years. The last time you talked to me, it was me and one JP O'Reilly. We were talking about bringing back Matt and Muscle.
Yep.
I will. I'll go into Matt and Muscle now, so I don't lose my train of thought.
Okay.
Matt and Muscle. We ran 2 shows. The second show we went over budget, so we had to back off this year on running a show. But our plan is come January, the three of us are going to sit down and we're going to bring back Matt and Muscle.
Okay.
Um, Last time you talked to us, we were on our way down to IC Dub No Holds Barred down in Boston. My goal, my goal is to make it on an IC Dub No Holds Barred show before the end of this tour.
Wow.
Danny DeMonto just released the dates for the tour, and I am going to bust my ass on all the East Coast shows to get my shot on that.
to familiarize, ICW is a deathmatch promotion, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I've asked this to some of the other wrestlers. Why the fuck do you want to do that to your body, my man? I know we've talked about deathmatch on the way to there, and there is a passion for it, and I absolutely understand that. As a fan, but as a wrestler, why are we going into an environment with so many question marks? And I know we're trained I get that. The guys and girls that are doing this deathmatch stuff, and not that not that there's very many girls. I get that they try to be as safe as possible, but you can only be so safe with so many question marks with the implements of weaponry that are being utilized. Uh, why ICW and why deathmatch?
ICW because it holds a special place to me and JP O'Reilly. That's what we really bonded over. That's what brought our friendship really close. Was ICW coming to Boston and him looking at me going, "You want to go?" And me without missing a beat going, "I've never been to a death match. I've been in a couple of extreme hardcore matches, almost death match level. Yeah, let's go." And doing that, that's just when I fell in love with it. So we both have the same goal of trying to get on ICW.
Okay.
So it's more of trying to get on there before the other one, so we can have that little jab. But he's been on H2O already, which is Matt Tremont's school and show. So he's had that chance to dabble in the death match a little more than I have. And I'm like, all right, mother trucker. I'm going to use every door I can, every avenue I can to get onto ICW. Well, little did I know until 2 days ago that my wrestling dad is best friends with Danny DeMonto.
Oh shit! Here we go.
So now I'm going to talk to my wrestling dad and be like, "Hey, dad, hey, dad, hey, dad, hey, dad, hey, dad, hey, dad." And Larry will talk to Danny for me, and then that will just get my foot in the door, and I'll go from there.
All right. Well, I wish you all the best of luck with that, because we want our favorite athletes, our favorite wrestlers to persevere, excuse me, persevere and reach the goals that they want to grasp onto. So I wish you the best of luck on this whole IC dub thing. Hopefully, uh, Papa Miller can make that happen. We'll see how that goes. Again, in the near future with one Lee Miller. Lee, we've, I think we've probably talked way more topics this time, way more topics than last
One,
time.
one more
Honestly.
thing.
Oh,
One more thing.
please do.
Because you mentioned it at the beginning, and then we haven't talked about it. But I can't not talk about you and one Cindy Hart coming up to Brewer for
Oh shit!
Vacation Land.
Shit, we cannot. Please, I will button my lip, and you can take over. We cannot skip this. You are so correct.
So for anybody that doesn't know, that didn't listen to the first STP, I will re-explain the story here, and I will go into more great detail. One, Raphael Mariquin, Big Raph, Prince Raphael, my cousin, he introduced me to Don Kincaid and STP. So from listening to STP with Raph, literally every week we would get together and listen to the show.
I love you.
So literally from listening to the show, we both looked at each other and we said, we have to meet Don Kincaid. We have to. Well, little did I know when I went to Battlefront Extreme Pro Wrestling, one Don Kincaid was in the crowd. I got to meet, that was the first time I met Don Kincaid. And I knew right when I met Don, I knew that, oh, I know what Raph and I are going to do if we ever get the chance. At that time, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano were doing the Glorious Bomb with Robert Roode.
Yeah.
which was always the slow turn, look at him nod after Robert Roode nodded to them. Well, come for a circle, we were all on a show for Vacationland Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
And Raph and I had just gone outside at intermission to partake in a little medicine.
Hey.
And you were by the entrance with one Miss Cindy Hart.
Yeah.
And I looked at Raph and I go, now, we have to do this now. We have to. Before he moves, we have to do this now. Raph looks at me and goes, do what? I went, we gotta do the glorious bomb now. We have to do it now. Raph goes, oh yeah, we gotta do it. So we come running. At this point, you have started filming. And according to your film, you look at Cindy and go, I am filming one Miss Cindy Hart and myself. If something happens.
Yes.
There is trouble afoot with one Lee Miller and one Raphael. Raph and I were 10 feet away from you. You had not a clue what we were doing. I pick up my phone, all silent, and I start doing the whole Bobby Roode entrance song. And I'm holding my camera, looking like this, looking at Raph, looking back at my camera, and just looking at my camera. You did it perfectly without even meaning to. You just looked over at us and nodded.
Yeah.
And then Raph and I just looked at each other, started laughing and nodding too. Hey, that is one of my favorite memories that I have ever done in wrestling.
I am going to piggyback and say the same exact thing. I will absolutely cherish that forever and ever because we were both recording. Neither of us knew who the hell was doing what and why we were doing it. And whenever I shared my video with Lee and Lee shared his video with me, oh my effing word, we had to put it together and it was just fucking money, man. So good.
It's beautiful.
It was just so good. I did share our previous STP in your post, but I'm going to repost the Glorious Bomb because I absolutely love that shit. It is so much fun. And because of how it all went down and how it pieced together, I just cherish it in my heart more and more because of that. Because again, whenever I turned around and looked at Lee and Ralph, I was looking at them saying to Cindy Hart, yeah, and then just in case I die, I'm filming so you can see this or something to that effect. And I was looking over at them guys. They were looking over at me with these fucking weird ass eyes. And I'm like, something is aloof over there, Miss Cindy Hart. So just the way it all came together, Lee Miller, it holds an absolute place in my heart that I will never, ever, fucking ever forget. It just love that, man. Such a
So
I can see it, I can hear it, I see everything. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to recreate that with you again. In order to do that, you posted a photo of your grandson the other day, and I said, "Oh, you packed him up and took him to a show."
Huh?
And I commented, "You can pack him up and take him to a show. You can pack him up and come to Maine." And if I'm not mistaken, your Miyamura liked it.
I, I, oh boy, using that against me, eh? She's been wanting to do some kind of road trip, like road trip. So, excuse me. You boxed me in the corner, one Lee Miller. We are going to definitely have to keep our eyes peeled. And we're going to have to set up a weekend to where I can go to her and then we can shoot up to there and make it a weekend of some kind so we can actually find a place to stay, have a nice little locale, have a great time at a wrestling event, spend another evening either either in Banger or Brewer. I don't know which one. But I'll definitely speak to her about making a plan to get up there, because it has obviously been a couple years, and just speaking on that memory alone, my man, uh, we've got to make more memories. So we've got to make a fucking plan to get up to Maine, because good times.
I've got to meet Joshy. I gotta meet Joshy.
That dude is now that dude is something else. He is a character all on his own. Let me tell you. Oh fuck, Lee Miller. What a way to end with great memories, great laughter. I actually, I know I've given you some shit at the shows and stuff, but I actually fucking love me some lights out Lee Miller. We've had nothing but great times and made memories. Only 2 or 3 times that we've seen each other, and it's been fantastic. I can't thank you enough. And I know you're doing a run here with the festival, the carnival, the fair. It's not a carnival, Kincaid, the fair. So I do really appreciate you taking some time out, talking to us as fans. But not only that, man, you were into some deep personal stuff with us that you were just sharing with us, and we were running with it. And this was a fantastic sit down with yourself. And just thank you so much for spending the time with us, Lee. I really do appreciate it, man.
You're very welcome, Don. I'm very glad to be here. I have, however, told some of the dojo guys, some of the up and coming dojo guys that are now on shows.
Oh.
I have told them to reach out to you.
Oh, please do. I love getting young talent from the ground up, Mr. Miller. You know that. I love doing first, if it's interview or promo or footage or what have you. It doesn't matter. I love talking to the younger talent.
The first one you should be hearing from is the Donkey Boy Bandit.
Oh, I've seen my man. I have seen him. I follow his shit. I haven't reacted or connected with him much. I'm not very open with everybody and everything. I probably should be a little more open. I would love to connect with Donkey Boy. If I don't want to call him that. I don't even know him. He looks like a lot of fun, my man. That's for sure.
He's probably, I can actually, besides my tag partner, Samuel Matthews, I can say that the Donkey Boy Bandit is probably hands down. I live with Jason Maverick, so he doesn't count. So I can say hands down, out of the dojo crew, the closest I've gotten to next to my tag team partner would be the Donkey Boy Bandit.
Nice. I do see a kinship between yourself, and Donkey Boy, because, like I said, I've been following his stuff. He's been around for a little bit now, doing some stuff up in that area mostly, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't followed him tight, and I don't get to see everybody's posts all the time, but I have definitely been following. Quite the character. I'm going to reiterate that. Quite the character is one Donkey Boy. Lee Miller, do you have anything that we haven't spoken upon that you would like to share with us, or a topic that I haven't spoken about that you would like to speak on before we let you go for this
evening? I can't say the place, but I can tell you that you, sir, need to keep an eye over your shoulder, because one of the promotions that you frequent quite a bit, you never know when I'm going to pop up.
Oh boy. I will keep my eyes peeled. For one, lights out Lee Miller. I know I don't go to as many as I used to. Karen has dragged me out a little bit more than I probably have been wanting to, but that's okay. That is quite all right, because it keeps me going, my man. Sometimes I just want to pull it back, and she's like, "Come on out, we're gonna go to this show." Okay, I'll go to that show. So I have been out there, but I haven't been going to as many as I would like to. But I will definitely keep my eyes out for one Lee Miller in my area. Even Massachusetts, Connecticut, you never know where Lee Miller will pop up, especially now that he's starting to spread his wings a little bit more. I want to see a moonsault, and I know I can only ask for so much in one sitting, but
I'm going up to the dojo on Sunday. I will see about getting that on tape for you.
All right. We appreciate you, Miller, Mr. Miller. Before you do go, and we let you carry on your evening, we want to find Lee Miller out there on the interwebs. Give us the handles for the old Twitter face page, Pornhub, if you got a little something extra going on the side. Whatever you've got kicking, share with us.
My Twitter is lights out 207. My TikTok is lights out 207. My Instagram is lights out Lee Miller. And my Facebook, if you type in Lee Edward Miller, it will pull me up. If you pull in lights out Lee Miller, it will pull up my wrestling page.
Okay. I appreciate the shares, because if we don't know where we're going, we want to find and look up new talent. So I appreciate all of those handles. No Pornhub though, huh? Interesting. But I know you're gonna have a hell of a time over there at the Skowhegan Fair. You're already. How many days deep are you right now? Did you say 5-ish?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, 5 days.
5 days. Five to go. Is that what we're talking?
Yep.
I don't know how these guys and girls do it. That's why I'm on the other side of the guardrail, drinking a little something, hanging out, while they're in the ring, being professional, being safe, and entertaining us. That is exactly why I don't know if I can persevere like that. I don't have the body for it. I don't have the brain for it. That perseverance is one of those main tools in the box that you need to be a successful wrestler. With all of that being said, we've had a fine conversation with one Lee Miller, and we can't thank him enough for taking his time and spending it with us. Because who are we? We're just, I know we're the fans, and without us, there's none of the, and all of that. I know we get that and stuff. But you know what? Without you guys and girls, one Lee Miller, there's no fans. So it goes both ways. With all of that, this is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and our very, very special guest, one Lee Miller. Lights out! Lee Miller. Thank you so much, my friend. It's been an excellent journey with you.
Thank you for having me, Don.